Hey everybody, how you doing? All right, so today we are going to do some yoga, some chair-based yoga, and a little bit of meditation. So a little bit more of a relaxing video for you today. Um, as always, I wanted to make sure to provide the usual disclaimers. Be sure that you work at your own pace, that you take a break if you need to, get some water regularly, stay hydrated, modify anything that you need to. I'll show some modifications, but anything that is not right for you, go ahead and change that if you need to. Make sure that you have a sturdy chair without wheels or armrests. Folding chair works great for this, but whatever you have, make sure that it's not going to move around on you. You definitely don't want that. Make sure your workout area is clear of any clutter or tripping hazards. And finally, I'm just doing socks because I'm on carpet, but please, if you need to have your sturdy athletic shoes on, please do that as well. And I've got some meditation music on here, so hopefully that will be soothing and relaxing. And let's go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to go ahead and not wear my sweatshirt. So again, make sure that you do stay hydrated before, during, and after your session. So even though it's less vigorous exercise, you still want to stay hydrated. Even if you're not thirsty, of course, it's easy to get dehydrated. So we'll do that. So let's go ahead and start. And again, just make sure that you have that sturdy chair that's not going to move around on you. This is going to be a more relaxing session today than our cardio or our strength training sessions. But of course, as always, remember that you can check those out. We've got 70 plus videos now over the last year. So today is just going to be a little bit more mind-body session. So go ahead and find a comfortable position in your chair. You can use your backrest on your chair if you want to. We're just going to begin by relaxing the shoulders down. Then we're relaxing the neck. We're relaxing the jaw. And if you struggle to be able to fully relax the jaw and the neck and the shoulders, think about relaxing your tongue, which will also help you to relax all the way down through here. And this is one of the most common areas for tension, including myself. I carry a lot of tension through my neck, upper trapezius area. It's a chronic problem. So just consciously releasing that stress out. And when you think about relaxing, a lot of times your breathing will just begin to naturally deepen. If not, go ahead and make a conscientious effort to relax and deepen your breathing. So we're not going to begin with a full meditation. We're just going to get the body to start to relax a little bit before we begin our yoga and our stretches. So again, relaxing the tongue, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders are down away from the ears. The hands are just resting comfortably in the lap, however you'd like to have them, and the feet are resting down flat on the floor. And I like to be aware of my feet contacting the ground, a little bit of grounding exercise, and also sitting in the chair, being aware of your body's contact with the chair, being aware of the hands resting in the lap. And then continuing to breathe deeply. Now, something that might be helpful for some of you, I have found when I have anxiety, which I know is very, very common, when I have anxiety, and if you know what that feels like, it's not the anxiety that's directly related to a circumstance, or maybe it is, but it's not an immediate threat anxiety. It's more of just a generalized anxiety. And I've found that what works for me, and this is just what works for me, but it's something that you can try, is if you're feeling that, and I get this a lot at night, if you're feeling that anxiety, just sitting and observing the anxiety helps take away some of its power. In other words, instead of fighting against the anxiety and thinking, oh, I shouldn't be having that, that needs to go away, I don't want that. If you just sit there and non-judgmentally observe it, sometimes it will lose some of its power. So that's something I do for myself. Again, it's not appropriate for everybody in every circumstance, but it's something that you can try. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and begin with just some general stretches. We're going to start moving the head from side to side. You want to continue breathing deeply at your own pace. Big inhale and big exhale. And just move through your comfortable range of motion for your neck. I like to do just the bottom half of the circle, but you can go all the way around if you want to. And then just going up and down. Make sure that your hands and feet are still relaxed here, that you're not starting to clench the hands or the toes. And now pausing down at the bottom, tuck the chin down to the chest. Press your palms down towards the floor with your shoulders all the way down away from the ears. And you're just slightly retracting those shoulder blades and make sure that you're not rounding. All right, go ahead and bring the head back up, and we're just rolling the shoulders front to back. I always like to do front to back on these, just again to make sure that we're correcting postural imbalances rather than contributing to them. A lot of folks have the rounded upper back, the rounded shoulders, the forward head. All right, go ahead and reach all the way front to back. So windmill the arms, opening through the chest and shoulder. And again, you're still breathing deeply. One more. All right, now relax the shoulders back down, and we're going to pull the head straight back this time. So I liken this to a turtle pulling into the shell. So we're not tucking down, we're just pulling the head straight back like a turtle is pulling into the shell. And most likely you'll feel quite a bit of tightness along the sides of your neck, which means that we need to reposition the head. So keeping that centered right over your shoulders, letting your body take the weight of your head instead of just your neck having to hold on to that. Now make sure that you're continuing to breathe. And then from here, we're going to go into our seated cat-cow pose. So bringing the hands to the knees, round the back, tuck the chin down, make that C curve with your spine. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, bring the elbows down to the legs, and you can flatten out or arch your low back. And then you're going to go back to your cat pose. So as you do this, if it feels good to increase the range of motion, you can do that. This should always be a comfortable, relaxing stretch. It should never feel like any kind of strain to get into position. It should always just feel good. Stretching the back is one of my favorite things to do, and it should always just feel really good. Continue breathing through it. One more. Good. All right, then coming back to neutral spine, we're going over to one side. Using the outside of the legs for leverage, look over your shoulder. And then the same thing on the other side, using the legs for leverage, rotate, look over your shoulder. Breathing. And come back to center. Let's move slightly forward in the chair. We're going to use the back of the chair to grab onto this time. Rotate the shoulders back and really lift the chest. You can lift the chin so you're looking up just slightly, but again, stay in your comfortable range of motion. And now release your chair out. We're going to lengthen the spine. Reach all the way up. Great big stretch. Fingers reaching up toward the ceiling, and lean to the side. Side of the body and the shoulders, and lean to the other side. Let's do each of those once more. You may get a little bit more range of motion on the second time. Breathing through it. Good job. All right, if it feels comfortable to you, you can bend the elbows, gently pulling back. If not, go ahead and just release that out. And now I'd like for you to give yourself just a great big hug, great big squeeze, and then circle the wrists. And circle the other way. And then give yourself another big hug. And then we're going to release that out and reach back up again. Lengthening the spine. This time I'd like you to stretch both legs forward, lift your toes up, and reach towards your toes. Now just go as far as you can. Bending the knees is completely fine. I have my knees bent. But see how far you can go down. If you can, grab your toes and lift them back up towards your knees. Again, if you have shoes on, it's going to give you a little bit more leverage. That's great. And as you bring your chest down towards your legs, you're getting that hamstring stretch as well. So hamstrings and calves here. Good. Let's go ahead and release that out. We're going to press. You can't see my feet, but I'm pressing the soles of my feet down towards the floor just to stretch the shins here. Make sure that you don't tighten up your feet too much, though, and get any kind of cramps in your feet or your calves. If you are getting cramps at night, a lot of people get leg cramps, check your water intake. Make sure that you are drinking enough water. I had a client, go ahead and release back up. I had a client who got a massage and probably didn't drink enough water afterwards, and he had severe leg cramps the following night. So do make sure that you stay hydrated. All right, let's go ahead and take this leg. We're just going to bring the knee up towards the chest to stretch the glute. Bring the forehead down as far as you can. And then bring the head back up, and we're just going to point and flex at the ankle and move side to side. And then extending that leg out. You can keep holding under the leg if you want to. We're going to circle from the hip. Change direction. And then from here, we're going to go into what I call our figure 4 pose. It is basically a seated version of the pigeon pose for those of you that are familiar with that. So if you do not feel comfortable to put your foot all the way up onto the leg, of course, as always, you can just cross the ankles and then lean forward from that position. If you do feel okay with putting the foot up, go ahead and move to the back of your chair for support. Remember that it's okay not to have the knee down very far. It's totally fine if you're feeling tight through that hip. Now we're going to do what's called a PNF. So that just means that we're going to go into the stretch, we're going to release it out, and then we're going to repeat it a couple more times with the goal of being able to move deeper into that stretch. As always, if this feels too intense for you, please just back out of it, work at your own level. So this should always feel like a comfortable stretch, never in any kind of pain from this. So from this position or from the crossed ankle position, we're going to hip hinge forward, which means we're not rounding the back. We're just leaning forward with a neutral spine. Now right away, you're going to start feeling that stretch out here at the outer area of the glute and possibly the outer thigh. So just go and do what you can and make sure that you breathe. Now we're going to release halfway up. This is the PNF portion of it. It's a very proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation is what that stands for, but it just means that we're going to release it out. Now this is a modification of PNF. Go ahead and lean forward again and see if you can go deeper into your stretch this time. When I do this with clients, I actually have them contract the opposing muscles against me to make it a little bit more effective. That's really difficult to do in this position, so we're just going to do this modified version of it. All right, halfway back up again, just enough to release that stretch, and we're going to do it one more time. Again, the goal is to increase the depth of the range of motion, increase the stretch, but if you are at your maximum there, just stay right where you are. Remember not to round or hunch the back or the shoulders. It's okay wherever you are. All right, great job. Let's go ahead and come back up. All right, so let's scoot over to the side. We're going to do our kneeling lunge stretch next. So we're just bringing that knee down towards the floor. Now I know some of you don't have quite as long the legs as I do. So if you can't bring the knee all the way down, it doesn't matter. That's completely fine. We're going for the stretch on the front of the thigh and the hip flexor. So if you're not getting that stretch there, go ahead and move that leg a little bit further back. And you can hang onto your chair for support. Totally fine. We're just going to add a little upper body stretch here. So that stretch is starting at the hip. Again, it should be comfortable. Good. Let's go ahead and come back to the center of the chair, and we're going to do our eagle pose next. All right, so this is one where we are crossing the arms and the legs. So we're going to start with the legs. You're going to cross over on that same side. So that leg is on top. This is part one. Part two, if you're able to, go ahead and cross the ankle around behind. Now, of course, just like when we did the figure four stretch, if any of this is too much, you can always do it with the ankles crossed. Now, for the arms, we're going to start with the opposite arm on top. So we have this leg on top. For me, it's the left leg, right arm on top. All right, so from here, you can either just do a hug, you can touch the backs of the hands, or if it feels okay to you, you can come all the way around. You can even hook the thumbs. And now once you're in this position, we want to sit up and lift the elbows and look up. So this is one that's sometimes done standing, which is quite the balance challenge. So we're going to stick with the seated version here. Still a really good stretch. Hips and shoulders. All right, go ahead and release that all the way out. Now I'd like for you to extend that top leg out to the side. Inner part of your foot is down. And this time when we reach, we're going to rotate back so that we're looking toward the ceiling with the palm pressing up. So we're just going to do a nice rotation there, and then we're going to move into a tabletop pose. So shoulders relaxed down away from the ears. Good. Hands on the legs. Go ahead and come all the way up. Step back in. All right, let's hydrate real quick, and then we're going to move on to the other side. All right, so starting with the hands behind the leg, we're going to begin with the glute stretch. So knee is coming up as high as you can, forehead coming down towards the knee. Just get that nice little stretch there. You're still breathing deeply. And then bring the head back up. Let's point and flex at the ankle. And move the foot side to side. And now extend forward and circle from the hip. And change direction. All right, from here we're going to go into that figure four or seated pigeon pose. Remember that your modification is to cross the ankles over. If you have you've had hip surgery or any kind of pain or problem that you cannot bring the hip all the way up, go ahead and do that. If you are okay with it, sometimes one side will work, the other side won't, completely fine. All right, so remember that you don't have to have that knee very far down. That is completely fine as well. And we are leaning forward with a neutral spine, so we're not rounding at all. We're moving forward at the center, leaning from the hips, and you're going to start to feel that stretch, outer glute, outer thigh. And then again, we're going to do that PNF, which is our modified version where we're going to lean into our stretch and then release it and go back into it again. So make sure that you're just breathing, you're comfortably in your stretch here. You're going to go to your natural stretch barrier, which is where it's going to tell you, hey, that's as far as I want to go. Okay, come halfway back up. So great big breath in, exhale out, and lean forward again. So your goal here is to see if you can get a little bit deeper into your stretch, but if not, completely fine. Just stay into the strong but comfortable stretch. Let's do that one more time. Come halfway back up, inhale, and exhale forward. And lean into your stretch. Great job. So again, if you get farther into it, great. If not, that's okay too. All right, let's go ahead and come all the way up now. We're going to do our seated lunge stretch. So I'm going to move my water over to the other side and then slide off to the side, bringing that knee down towards the floor. Again, you don't have to come all the way down. Go Go ahead and feel free to hang on to your chair for support. And if you need to, move that knee back a little bit to get a nice stretch through the front of the thigh and the hip flexor, quadricep hip flexor stretch. I'm going to add just that reach up and over. Again, make it your own if you need to increase or decrease the range of motion. You can modify anything that you need to. And release that out. All right, let's move back to the center of the chair. We're going to do our eagle pose on this side. So again, we're starting, for me, this is the right leg on top, but it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're doing the other side than what you did last time. And of course, if you need to modify, go back to just crossing the ankles. So if you feel like it, you could add or if you have the ability to, I shouldn't say if you feel like it, but if you have the ability to and you want to, you can go ahead and bring the foot all the way back around behind the calf. And then for the upper body, we're going to do the opposite arm on top. So for me, this is the left arm on top, and then either hug or touch the backs of the hands, or come around, touch the palms, hook the thumbs, and then either way, we're sitting up tall, lifting the elbows and looking up. Good job. All right, go ahead and release that out. We're going to uncross the arms and the legs, stretch that, traffic outside. Good thing we're not in the middle of meditation. All right, stretch that leg out to the side, inner part of the foot down. We're going to do our rotation here so that you're rotating back, looking up toward the ceiling, pressing the palm up. I have a busy road behind me there. It's quite a bit of traffic. Behind the house, not behind me literally. All right, now moving into our tabletop pose. Reach forward. Great job. All right, so I'd like to do a couple of poses in the standing position before we get to our meditation. So go ahead and hydrate. And then we're going to come up to standing. You still have your chair for support. I think today, just to be different, I'm going to turn the chair the other way. So I know I usually turn it that way. Today I'm going to turn it this way. How about that? All right, so of course, you all know my favorite stretch is the modified downward dog. So we're going to begin with that one to make sure that we get that in. You have a good grip on the top of your chair. Make sure it's not going to move on you. And then you're going to take, I'm going to move it, but make sure that yours is not going to move on you. You can push it up against a wall if you need to. And then you're going to take a great big step back. So the goal is to bring your ears down by your arms, press your tailbone towards the wall behind you, and focus on lengthening your spine. You should feel a nice stretch through your shoulders, your back, your hips, and the backs of your legs. It should feel really good. Make sure that you're breathing through it. And then slowly come back up. All right, come all the way up. Let's go ahead and just grab the hands together behind the back. Rotate the shoulders back, a little lift, and then ear to shoulder. Just stretching the neck out. And other side. Ear to shoulder. Okay, go ahead and shake that out. All right, so the little combo that I love to do, a couple of warrior poses with like a triangle modification pose. I just think this really stretches the whole body and just really feels good. It takes me back to, if you saw my Jamaica shirt, it takes me back to doing this in Jamaica in the beautiful Caribbean sun. So you can think of whatever you like while you're doing this, whatever makes you feel good, makes you feel motivated, wherever that you would like to be. If that's right where you are, fantastic. If not, we can look forward to the day that we get to take those vacations again. So we're going to take a split stance for this. You're going to put one foot forward and one foot back. Now you can go ahead and turn the back foot out as far as you want to for stability. I'm not going to be super picky about that. Oh, there's a cameo from my dachshund, Miss Tater Tot. Hi, Tater. I know you want to know what Mommy's doing. All right, so now that you have your solid stance, we're going to rotate back so that you're facing towards the back of the chair. So we're just going to begin with our warrior one pose. So from here, bend the front knee in towards your chair, and we're going to just reach up. So we're going to lift the chest, look up, slight arch in that low back, shoulders away from the ears. Make sure that you're not shrugging at all. And then going into a warrior two. So we're going to rotate back, Open through the chest, bend that front knee a little bit more. Hands are level with the shoulders and shoulders are away from the ears. Make sure that you're breathing. He wants to know why I'm not petting him instead of doing this. Okay, now coming down, we're going to straighten that front leg. Reach that front hand down towards your foot. Now, if for any reason you need to use your chair for support, please go ahead. If you're okay here, continue on. I'm adding a little bit of rotation, reaching the fingers toward the ceiling. You can look up if you'd like. Just work at your own level here. And then finally, last part of this combo is just reaching the other hand to the back leg and stretching from the hip. Release out of that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I think I am going to move the chair just so that I don't have my back to the camera. That is not helpful for you. So I am going to move the chair over, but you don't have to move yours. You can just switch sides. So have your chair right there for support. So the other foot in front, big step back, turn that back foot out as far as you want for stability. And then we're going to begin with our warrior one. So rotate the hips towards the back of the chair so you're facing the back of the chair. Starting with that warrior one, knee bend, reaching up. Lift the chest up, look up, stretch butt. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Consciously relax that upper trapezius. And you're breathing. And then moving into our warrior two. Go ahead and rotate back away from your chair, but you're keeping the chest lifted up, the shoulders back. We're not hunching or rounding. Your hands are level with your shoulders. You can look towards your front head if you like. That's generally part of this pose. It's up to you. And you're breathing. All right, going into our triangle, go ahead and straighten that front leg. If you need the chair, go ahead and use it. If you're okay with reaching down towards your foot, go ahead and go to a comfortable position here. The other hand is reaching up and back. Again, stay in comfortable range of motion. Look up if you'd like to. And then slowly come back up. Last part of it. Reaching this hand towards the back leg, other hand stretching up toward the ceiling. All right. Go ahead and release that out. So just shaking out, stepping in, shaking out the arms and legs. Before we do our meditation, we're just going to do some sun salutations here. So going to a nice, comfortable position that you feel solid, you feel grounded. All we're doing is reaching up with the inhale and forward fold with the exhale. We do want to keep the head above the heart. So you can relax your back, sweep the arms across, but make sure that the head doesn't drop down below the heart so that we don't have any kind of dizziness or lightheadedness, but flow through your movement. Now, if you lose your balance a little bit, you can go into a slightly wider stance if you need it. You can use the chair if you need it. Let's hold this one down at the bottom. And we're just relaxing the back here. You can sway a little bit. All right, great job. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. When you get all the way up to the top, you're going to bring the shoulders back and down. Okay, let's come back to our chair, finishing with just a brief little meditation here. All right, so hydrate if you need to. Find a comfortable position in your chair. Just like we did at the beginning, we're going to ground the feet down on the floor. We're going to relax the hands on the lap. Now, I do have the palms of my hands down, but it's completely up to you how you would like to have your hands. Some people want to do the traditional, touching the middle finger to the thumb, totally fine. If you want to just cup the hands in your lap, totally fine. Whatever feels comfortable to you. I know that some people feel that the palms up is open, the palms down is closed, but do whatever feels right for you in this moment. You can do it different every single time. Now we're just going to become aware of the breath. Make sure that we are breathing deeply. And this is something to be to be aware of. I don't know why I said good. Something to be aware of several times throughout the day. Our tendency is not to breathe deeply. And you'll notice as soon as you start to deepen the breathing, you feel that sense of relaxation. We have one more cameo from my puppers. Hi, baby. Do you want to do meditation with us? It's Tater Tot. Tater Tot's a good boy. Of course, he's going to sit right here. All right, this is part of meditation. Dealing with distractions, being aware of the present moment and what's happening in it. So what's happening right now is I have a dog in front of me, but dogs make people smile, so I'm not going to kick him out. I smile every time I see a dog pop out the window of a car. Not literally pop out, but you know, when their nose and head pops out. All right, so I'd like for you to be aware of any tension or tightness in your body, especially through the shoulders and the neck, possibly through the hands and the feet. And each time you exhale, just release that tension out. So begin by becoming aware of it, and then with each exhale, release that tension out. He's drinking water, in case you're wondering what that is. Dogs are actually very good at yoga and stretching. All right, if you'd like to, you can close your eyes. You don't have to. We're just going to do a couple more nice deep breaths, deepening both the inhale and the exhale here. And as you breathe again, check for any tension or tightness in your body. Release it out with the exhale. Being aware of your body as your feet touch the floor, your hands touch your lap, your hands rest on the lap, and your body resting against your chair. Let's take one more nice deep breath. And of course, you can continue on with this meditation if you would like to. Please feel free to do as much meditation as feels right for you. I usually do 20 to 30 minutes myself, but that might get kind of boring to just sit here watching me do that. So if you would like to continue, please feel free to just go ahead and continue. If you like to have music playing, go ahead and turn on some soft music. If you like a guided meditation, there's plenty of those available. Do what feels right for you. Let's finish with our final stretch here. Once you're ready, open your eyes, lengthen your spine, and reach the arms up as you inhale and exhale. Open out through the chest and shoulders. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. All right. I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm going to go ahead and end here. Namaste. Thank you for being with me to the end here. I hope you enjoyed our little puppy dog cameo. Accidental, of course. And as always, I'd like to remind you to please do like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube watching this, please hit the notification bell so make sure that you don't miss any videos. I'm trying to upload a little bit more frequently. It's just going to depend on my schedule, but we'll see what happens. I'll do as many as I can. So yes, if you would like, subscribe, click that notification bell. These things do help the algorithm so more people get to see the videos. If you're watching on my Facebook page, again, you can like and follow the page and you'll see whenever I upload. And again, please be sure that you stay hydrated all day long. I carry water with me everywhere I go. And check out some of my other videos. Again, we have 70 plus. We have cardio, strength training with a band, a ball, hand weights. We have all of the different things that you need to work out throughout your week. If you're working out indoors, it gives you some different options. So check out some of those, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.